ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for What Do You Call It? Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Happy bank holiday weekend, everyone. I actually nearly forgot it was Good Friday today. So I'm actually now off for 4 days. No work. Happy days. Not that I don't hate my job. Wink, wink. Anyway, today's guest is the owner and promoter for the LWF, the Lancashire Wrestling Federation. His name is Bibby. I did pronounce that correct, didn't I? We did check before recording.
He's good.
Hey, happy days, happy days. How you doing today, mate? You all good?
I'm not bad. Tired, but focused. Just need a few protein bars and some energy drinks and I'll be all right.
I can imagine, man. You got a big show this weekend. I can imagine that being quite busy as well. Half term and a family show as well. So I'm sure that's going to attract a lot of families there. Before we do talk about Slamaganza, the upcoming event, which is tomorrow. Yep, that's correct, 16th. I basically think the listeners and myself, just to dissect you as a person and as a promoter, just to take it, go back to the beginning where it all began. And I want to find out, when did you become a fan of wrestling?
I became a fan of wrestling when I was very young, in the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior days. And the Warrior was the one I was always drawn to. So colourful and energetic and everything. He was like a real superhero sort of thing. So I was fascinated by him as a younger child. And then I sort of went through a phase. I don't think my parents were that happy with me watching it back then. So I went through a phase of not watching it at all. And then I got dragged back into it randomly. I was in hospital when I was younger, and somebody had it on a TV. I think one of the TVs that you wheel around on a stand.
That's going back a bit.
Yeah, and I looked at it and I'm watching it and I'm going, what the hell is Vince McMahon doing like in the ring? He was a commentator when I last watched it. He was like an interviewer, so I was fascinated, and then I got hooked right throughout the Attitude Era. So that's where I never looked back from there, really.
No, awesome, man, awesome. I'm going to ask, just because you're a promoter, did you attend any live shows when, the WWE come to the UK, or any of the American shows? When you have like fake Kane, fake Undertaker, or even like Fake the Snake when he wasn't at his best?
Well, to start with, I attended a few fake ones, and they were, looking back, they were hysterical. I think
Wouldn't change it for the world, by the way.
Well, it was Kane and Undertaker. People were playing Kane and Undertaker. I think somebody
like
did Steve Austin once. Yeah. But I always remember thinking the guy was doing a great job until he turned to the audience and started clapping with them. And I was like, no, the Undertaker doesn't do that. That really frustrated me. But and then I believe it or not, I've never really had the opportunity to go to any main proper shows. The only two I've been to, I went to 2 house shows, WWE house shows, one in 2003. When it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which I was really, I'm looking back, cool, I'm really happy to have seen that, and Ric Flair versus Edge. Nice. And then recently, I think about 4 years ago, maybe I went, and it was Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. So it's only 2 house shows I've been to, but because I've been really busy with other things.
Which we will talk about in a moment. But that's quite surprising to be honest. I would have expected maybe that would have inspired you to become a promoter. But I mean, that's awesome. You did get to see Triple H and Shawn Michaels wrestle, something I never did, and regret now. But I got to meet Shawn Michaels, so I can't really complain. I have heard you're a football fan as well, so I want to ask, and I always, any excuse for me to talk about football, you get a smile from me. I always like, okay, cool, I can just talk about that for ages. But who do you support?
Well, I'm not sorry to say on the whole, but I'm sorry to say for the current shower of uselessness we have at the moment, I'm a United supporter.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing United for. Joe, I've got something for United, to be fair, just because of the rivalry of Arsenal and just what Ferguson achieved. But what's going on?
Oh, that was a great era.
Oh, it's just it's a mess. It's just a mess.
I mean, I was a season ticket holder for 13 years.
Oh dear.
My first ever game was Roy Keane's home debut. and I finished in 2000. I know I finished in 2006, I think, because I got priced out of it. And we've had, I've enjoyed it, but I'm in terms of the way I am at the moment, I don't mind not winning anything. I don't mind us not being that great, but I do mind about not caring and not giving effort. That's what's bothering me really badly at the moment.
Because you've got so many players like that just need to go, in my opinion. I mean, like Wan-Bissaka, he's not good enough. Harry Maguire, I know Rashford is a great human being, and I really respect what he's done, but I just think it's time to go. Like, you can't keep talking about him like he's an 18-year-old kid. You know, like he's on the team.
I think there's a lot of entitlement in those players. I think somebody like Rashford thinks, you know, I think often when he's on the pitch, I think he looks like he's playing FIFA most of the time. I think, you know...
there's always an excuse for him now. It's like, he's played up position. He's not 100%
well,
fit.
this is it, but then they go and play him in position against Everton, and he does nothing to justify what his complaints. And I often think with Rashford, he plays on the left because he wants to cut inside and shoot, not provide for people on the right with crosses. So... That's my way. I feel like there's a lot of that in
Ronaldo as well, and I just don't think that is fair. Don't get wrong. Has he been the world-class player that he has been before? No, but like it's just not fair to blame him entirely.
Oh no,
I do think I would let him go, and I think Ronaldo's one of the best players of all time.
I think if it wasn't for Ronaldo, this season would have been far more embarrassing.
Yeah, especially like the Champions League one as well.
Yeah.
Like he's had some points, but there's also been games when he's been quite shocking himself, not running back.
I think the attitude, it's the club's attitude. It's right the way through the mentality of attacking and never say die is gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much negativity on the pitch.
Your best player's probably been De Gea, maybe?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I'd people laugh at this, but if you look at the amount of games he saved us, points he saved us, we could be down in the bottom.
You'd be, I mean, I wouldn't say you'd be relegated or anything like that, but I think you'd be definitely mid-table. I mean, you're actually not that far off at the moment. That's
no.
I mean, we're thrown away top 4 at the moment. So
I'm surprised at that because we're almost handing it to you.
Yeah, and like literally, now Spurs are like they just come out of nowhere, and now they're above us. And like, I think it's quite frustrating if I'll be brutally honest. It's just like we were so close to it, and now we're just literally just making it harder for ourselves as always. Like losing against Palace, I mean, getting spanked by Palace actually. Fair play, Vieira. Like he came in with a game plan, outplayed us. That was it. It was embarrassing. Probably the worst performance of the season. Losing to Brighton, I mean, was a bit better, a bit unlucky hitting the crossbar a few times, but you know.
I think with Arsenal and Spurs, it's become a horse race that now. One's getting leg weary and the other one's getting confident.
I do not want them finishing above us again. Like,
no.
I mean, we've still not won any fucking trophies in like 20 years. So there's that. I mean, but at the moment it's just sad. But I still have faith in Arteta. I mean, if someone had listened to this podcast about a year ago, I was more Arteta out. But there is progression there. He's bringing in the young players. He's getting the best out of them. We still have some players that need to fuck off. But yeah. Time will tell, my man. But I had to squeeze in the football talk. But I think Man United at the moment, you got what's his name, Ten Hag from Ajax.
That's if he wants to come.
I think it's going to happen.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he
didn't. Coming.
Well, that doesn't bother me too much. But I don't think at the moment, I don't think it matters who manages this group. That's all.
It could be the Glazers, it could be the players, it could be the management, it could be...
It's right from top to bottom. It's rotten right away.
It's not just one thing at the moment. It's so bad. It's sad to see this at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, it really pisses all over the history. And there's a lot of good history there that they're really disgracing, I think, at the moment.
I think you're going to be coming up to 10 years now without the Premier League. And if you told me this about 10 years ago yourself, that Man United being in the state that they are now, I probably would have laughed, if I'll be honest.
But I'm okay with not winning the league. I'm okay with not winning things. I just want to see the same values, and we just don't have any at the moment. They've gone.
No, it's just non-existent. I mean, things aren't better at Arsenal, but you know, at the same time, we're not the same club at size as Man United. So I can understand it's more frustrating on your part, but fingers crossed we can both improve as clubs and bring back that rivalry that was once.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Best rivalry in all football. People are saying Liverpool and City is a better rivalry.
Too much hugging going on there.
Well, right, so you can tell I've only been watching football for like 5 years, but no, awesome. Had to squeeze in the football talk, my man. Thank you, awesome. So I want to jump on to you being a promoter.
Yeah.
Have you always wanted to be a wrestling promoter, or did you have your eyes on any other roles in the wrestling business? Sort of, to be a referee or a manager.
Yeah, I wanted to be a commentator.
Oh, really?
That's all I wanted to be. And that's what I am for LWF now. But I started out just wanting to do that. And the promoter side of things was an accident, really. I wanted to be a commentator, but I wanted to build contacts and I wanted to do something so I'd be noticed. And I realised that there's a gap because we operate in Chorley. There was something in Preston, there was something in Manchester, there was something in Wigan, but there was nothing in that gap in between.
Yeah.
And I just got a group of people together who were interested in starting that kind of career. And I spoke to relevant people to come down and train, and we found a unit, and I built it really our slogan is from the ground up, because that's exactly what it's been. It's been built from nothing. But I did it purely just so I could get some contacts and try and maneuver into the business and become a commentator one day. But it's sort of, I looked at what we had in the academy that we were building, and I realized that, I wanted it to get bigger and more successful.
No, I respect that. What was the actual first show? When and sort of was it the LWF, or was it sort of another brand? The first show that you ever promoted?
That was April 2018, and that was Road to the Future.
Are you able to talk through the process of that first show? Just sort of, I think I as a fan, I used to do the simulators online. I think it was called EWF and online.
Yeah, I remember those.
Okay, it looked like a piece of piss. I know for a fact it's not. If you could explain to the listeners just a bit of some of the details that go into booking a show.
Well, I was very naive back then. I'm still there, still am to a degree. There's still a lot to learn. There's always a lot to learn, I think, particularly in the first at least 10 years. But I basically knew as long as I had a venue, I had a start. Because it's all right having an idea, but if you've nowhere to showcase it, it's just an idea. So we had we had a venue in place, and it was just a case of I asked around first to see who would be interested in coming to one, because I didn't know this area in terms of its attitude to wrestling. So I found that about 50 people said, yeah, we'd be interested. I thought, well, that's a start, so I then went ahead and started working on a card. I looked at who might be affordable nearby to come and do the show for us. Obviously, I went to watch them as well, and I'd done a bit of commentary back then as well, so I knew who could work just a basic show for us.
Yeah.
And I looked into the academy, and we had some guys in the academy that I was going to give sort of a 5-minute match to in the middle of the event, and we picked 4 guys out to do that tag contest. So once the card was built, it was a case of just finding out what I needed to do legally, obviously insurances and things like that, and event license, and it was built up, but I made sure I did it like long in advance.
Yeah.
So then I wasn't panicking and going, oh, I've forgotten to do this, because I didn't know you had to and all that. So the first one was like months and months and months in the making. But from then on, you sort of grow. You have one show and you think, well, I didn't like, I won't put the seats there next time, or I won't put that offer on because people don't go for it, or I'll offer this next time. You sort of, you learn show by show
as you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But as long as you put a lot of time, I would say a year in advance of your first show, you plan that first show for the longest you will plan for any show, I think.
No, I think that's pretty interesting. I think anyone that is listening that might be interested in doing it and not just doing it online like I used to do when I was younger. It's so difficult. I mean, everyone is a fantasy booker online, especially Twitter. You've seen it yourself. I can imagine. I've seen it. Everyone just thinks, do this, do that, do this. It's as you said, the insurance, the wrestlers, and the venues, the posters, the advertising, the fans. Anyone gets injured. I mean, we will be talking about someone actually being replaced in the upcoming show tomorrow. In a minute, but I want to actually talk to you about the LWF, the Lancashire Wrestling Federation. So I want to know about the origins and what makes this promotion stand out in the UK wrestling scene.
I think what I've always tried to push with the LWF, and it's something that comes back from childhood, because I was very creative as a child. I was always writing. I mean, I think this is the case for any promoter or any wrestling fan. They always, like you said, fantasy booking. You do write down stories and come up with your own stuff. Yeah, but I always felt when I went to watch any local live shows or anything like that, where I did enjoy going to watch them, it was always good to see the talent. I always wish that we could have something continuous, like a storyline to follow. So I didn't want to, you know, sometimes I always sort of liken it to sort of when the circus comes to town, you watch it, you enjoy it, and then you wait for it to come back again.
Yeah.
I wanted to put on a show, then do something in the middle of the week and the months leading up to the next one where people would be waiting to see the outcome. I wanted a continuous story because I used to love the old Attitude Era Raws and the stories that used to go through and weave in and out of the shows then. Mm-hmm. So my goal was to be heavily storyline based. I wanted a lot of powerful story. I didn't want to put matches on shows just for the sake of it, just because they were attractions. And I think that's what separates us. I know a lot of other promotions do run stories, but I'd like to think we do it on a more deeper and a more continuous level. I think that's what separates us slightly.
No, I know exactly what you mean with the shows. Like, I think the circus analogy is pretty good. Like, there's a lot of shows I've been to. They've got the stat, like the American Star, whatever, and it's just like one-offs, like nothing else. They're just matches. I think you're still there. No? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still there. Sorry, I thought frozen.
I'm still there.
Yeah, but yeah, like you get the shows where, you know, basically one and done, basically. But yours, I have noticed, and I've, you know, gone through a lot of your content. It seems to be point A, point B. You know, there's a plan. There is, like, you know where you're going to. I think it's froze.
Yeah, that's right. I do. Nothing we do is meaningless. Really, is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's it.
I think as well we've just introduced Monday Night Mutiny, which is our version of Raw, mm-hmm. in between each show, and we're using the Academy talent can showcase themselves on there, and we've also used it to glue the stories together between shows. That's a little experiment we're running at the moment.
There is one thing I saw. I want to bring it to attention. It was to advertise. I think it was the first Slamaganza event. I think it's the only video on your YouTube. And the reason I want to bring it up, I think you did like not necessarily a promo, but just sort of gave some encouragement to the talent. Was you inspired by Paul Heyman's promo in Beyond the Mat?
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, that could be seen. Is it the one backstage? I didn't know that was up.
Yeah,
I think I put it there.
Yeah,
I think I uploaded it once for purposes, editing purposes, and forgot to privatize it. But yeah, I think that one in Beyond the Mat is I think doing that for the talent, particularly if there's a lot of new guys in there, mm-hmm. who aren't who are sort of nervous. I think that's a really good thing to do. I also think it helps to talk to the talent before a show because everyone's on the same page, then everyone is listening to the same thing. Nobody's on different wavelengths. They can all speak up if they're a bit confused about something.
Yeah,
I just think it's really important to have that group meeting. Not always for motivational purposes. I think over the years it's gone less motivational and more organized, more than anything. But yeah, I believe heavily in doing that. And I think Paul Heyman's speech on Beyond the Mat was probably what inspired me to start doing that kind of thing.
Had a feeling. But no, that's cool, man. I mean, I think that speech just still resonates with me. I mean, I'm not even a promoter, but I'm just like, I want to bleed for this guy, you know? Yeah. I mean, I know you do family shows, but I can imagine like people still want to give it my all.
No, you still want that same mentality though, don't you?
Oh, yeah. You just basically want to give the best show that you can so they come back. And
also you want your talent to enjoy coming into work for you as well. I'm very, very big on that. I don't like anybody not having a good time when they come to work for us. So it's important that you create that atmosphere.
No, I can tell, man. I mean, I can see that you got some of the returning talent that, you know, the way you can continue storylines. And I want to talk about the upcoming show. Slamaganza, wicked name. I really like it. It's quite cool. Slamaganza 3 take place tomorrow. Bank holiday weekend. If anyone is in the area, by the way, check it out. But I want you to promote the event. Why should someone attend? And if you could tell me some of the main matches on this podcast, and then, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, sell me this pen. Tell me what's going to stand out.
Well, Slamaganza is our Wrestlemania. Mm-hmm. It's my sort of creation. I always wanted to create a WrestleMania of my own, and it's the night where sort of we turn up the volume on the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. So this is sort of the height, and then from then on, we aim to continue on that level right the way through to the end of the year. And we've got some huge matches on this card. We've got a real contrasting main event. We've got Sonny Durson taking on Reynaldo, challenging Reynaldo for the LWF Championship. Reynaldo spent months trying to get that belt, and when he did, it was a triumphant moment for everybody. But now you've got Reynaldo in one stage of his career, the later stages of his career after a resurrection. You've got Sonny Durson, who's just going from strength to strength and could be huge. So it's a nice main event, really, and it's bubbled over by the fact that they were given a tag match together at the last show and did not work well together.
Yeah.
So there's some needle thrown in there as well. We've got a massive tag team contest, 4-corner elimination match between the Merseyside Mercenary Squad, the Models, Synergy, and the Wrecking Crew. That will be chaos. I think from a ringside perspective, I'm a little bit intimidated by that one. We have front row.
You're gonna literally you might get involved yourself.
Yeah, and the big guys, a lot of them as well. So and then we've got the more unique match. First one we've ever done. The mixed tag team, her versus her contest between Nate Reese and Tonga taking on Kelly Van Ness and Bob Coston. This has been two rivalries smashed together, and Nate Reese decided to take a piece of Bob's blonde locks, which he's very well known for at the last show, and it's now become a her versus her contest. So
that's getting personal. That is.
So the loser of the fall. Yeah, the loser of the fall will have their head shaved. It doesn't matter who it is. So that's put a little bit of, I don't know. I think that's the anxiety match of the evening myself. And then of course after that we've got Rob Drake making his debut for LWF against Lachlan Sharp. Two massive talents. Absolutely cannot predict that one. It's been boiling over for the last 2 months to finally actually going to get to come together and have this contest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also got the Castle Cup tournament, which is our first ever award that we ever had in the LWF before the championship came along. And it's usually our King of the Ring to basically promote the newer talents and propel others into the big picture. We have the semi-finals on the night and we have the final on the same night. So that's an ongoing story throughout the night. There is so much going on at Slamaganza. It is like long movie almost, which is why it's called the Hollywood Night.
The poster's awesome as well. I mean, you had Lana Austin, but you actually replaced her with Harley Hudson, who's quality herself. I mean, that's such a quick replacement, but such an equal replacement, in my opinion. Yeah,
I mean, it's a shame. We love having Lana on our show. She's worked really hard to get into the title picture recently. She's been dead set on trying to prize that belt away from Jenny B. And she's unfortunately been injured. We can't wait to have her back, and we do wish her really well. And the crowd love her, so it'll be nice to see her return. But Harley was there to help her initially in the contest they were scheduled to have, and now she's going to step in. And it looks like now she's left alone with Jenny B, who assaulted her at the last show with the belt, and Harley's been waiting for retribution. It looks like she's going to get it singly and solely now.
Mate, that's a start of the show, in my opinion. I think anyone that is in the area that does like wrestling, or even just wants to, have a day out, it's a family event. It's for everyone. I mean, is it going to be on YouTube, or is it going to be airing on any social platforms once it airs, or is it going to be live?
Well, what we do is we at the moment we're doing a show a month, which has really pushed our workload up. So we're just on a backlog of getting all our content onto Powered 4 TV. It's like wrestling, Netflix. We've got 4 or 5 shows on there already, but we will be rapidly producing the shows from the last few months in the coming weeks. So hopefully very soon, this show and the previous ones will all be up there to see. It's not a lot. It's about £8 a month or something for unlimited wrestling in the UK, content and shows from a variety of different promotions. We have some free content on there as well. We have a crazy Mosh Pit Mayhem match that happened back in September. That's a free match for you to watch on there if you want an idea of what we do. Yeah. And but there's always promotional stuff on YouTube. And I'll always throw clips out onto YouTube, just teasers. So, and again, it's almost like I continue the story with these little promotional videos and these
keep yourself busy. And
you'll have noticed these vignettes I keep putting up, but they do keep it interesting. So there's plenty of platforms to see our stuff.
No, that's awesome, man. Hopefully, I can come up and be able to sort of get a backstage tour as well, do some interviews, and have my first experience with the LWF one day. I mean, I actually like going up north. I'm not just saying it for the sake of it. I mean, I do like ripping the Scousers just because it's funny, but I actually really like them. But they're easy targets. But no, that's awesome. I do wish you the best of luck with Slamaganza 3. I mean, it's the third one now, so I know it's going to continue to be a success. For anyone that is in the area, like I said, I'm going to assume there's still a few tickets left.
Yes, there's still tickets left. It's going to be a big crowd, but
awesome. So there are still
they
tickets
usually sell up. Right, they sell out usually on these days, on the day before. So if there is a surge, everybody online will know about it.
Yeah,
in good time.
No, that's awesome. And if someone is interested in get a ticket, where can do it? Because this is coming out before the event. So if anyone is interested, where would they go to purchase a ticket for Slamaganza?
Well, if any of the graphics that go out on Twitter and Facebook, there's always a ticket link attached to each one. The Facebook page is probably the best place to go. It'll direct you. There's an event page on there. You can find the ticket link. But there is usually, you can contact the page. We're very responsive, particularly in the days before. But there is always a link attached to every match graphic or every bit of news we put out there for this for the show.
Awesome, my man. Awesome. I'll put the details in the description below. But thank you for coming on. I'm glad that I'm more than happy to promote your upcoming show tomorrow. And hopefully I can check out Powerful TV. They're awesome. I've done some work with them before. So they're good up. Yeah, thumbs up to them as well. I wish you good luck for tomorrow, but I don't think you're going to need it. Feel free to cut one of those poor home promos again. And put it on social media, man, because it was good. I liked your promo. It was good. Well, not even speech. I'm going to say speech because, it focused from the heart. But thank you for coming on. For everyone that has listened to this episode on Bank Holiday Weekend, thank you. There's going to be more episodes of What You Call It podcast coming up very soon. If you follow me on Twitter already, if not, Buka Mania 89. Reason I've actually just plugged my Twitter is because I've got some guest announcements this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But for now, everyone, have a great Easter, and also check out Slamaganza 3. Take care.
Oi, oi! It's that time of the year. You can smell it. The biggest event on the wrestling calendar. LWF presents Slamaganza.
I will not apologise, and I can't wait to get my hands on Reynaldo and become the next LWF champion.
Broadcasting the Billy Madness, Nate Reese and Tonga, and the loser of Paul is going to have their hair shaved.
There's going to be 80s in that match, and the Wrecking Crew will walk out as tag team champions.
The Castle Cup, semi-finals and final.
Chorley Town Hall, son. That's where I started my title reign. It's not where I'm going to end it.